Hello, I'm the Air's Cartographer, and this is the city of Watoga. This will be the first in a series of videos on the city of Watoga and the surrounding region known as the Cranberry Bog. This video will cover the layout and composition of the city of Watoga and the layout of the region at large. With its high rises and narrow streets, Watoga can be difficult to navigate without a more in-depth investigation. This overview should give you a better knowledge of the city. We'll start with the street layout. Watoga lies on a primarily west to east, north to south grid of streets, but the streets are not terribly orderly. Starting in the southwest corner of the city, we find Tomorrow Lane, the north to south leg of which starts with its connection at Highway 107, the highway running west out of Watoga. On its west to east leg, Tomorrow Lane runs along the southern edge of the city, all the way east to the parking lot serving Watauga High School and the Watauga train station. Moving north, the next west to east road is Innovation Street, running from its western terminus at Tomorrow Lane to an east end U-turn that leads to the next west to east road north of Innovation, AMS Street. Both Innovation and AMS streets are divided into western and eastern sections, but these disparate sections follow the same general path. The last west to east street is Circuit Road, which runs along the northwestern edge of the city, connecting Highway 107 to the northern routed Highway 65. Moving on to the north to south roads, we find that half are unnamed. The first named north to south road starting from the western end of the city is Electron Road, running from AMS Street to Circuit Road. The second north to south street is Robco Boulevard, starting from Highway 65 in the north, crossing AMS and Innovation Streets to tee into Tomorrow Lane. The final named north to south street is Destiny Drive, connecting Innovation to AMS Street. Of the two remaining named streets, Industry Road runs from Electron Road to Circuit Road in an L shape, and North Washington Street is the roundabout around AMS headquarters. There was a bus service in town, anchored in the Watauga Transit Hub, and in a bus station on Innovation Street, although I will note that most Wataugans believe themselves to be above bus travel. Beyond road travel, there was a pair of rail-based options. The first of these was the Appalachian Red Line, the train line that connects to the flooded train yard to the east, and through Big Bend Tunnel to the west to all municipal train stations in Appalachia. If the Red Line were still in service, we would be able to ride all the way from Watoga to Grafton. The other rail-based form of transportation comes in the form of the Monorail line that runs from Robco Research Center in the northeast to the Garahan Mining Headquarters over the mountains to the west. The monorail has two stations in Watoga, one at the Watauga Transit Hub and the second by Watauga High School on Innovation Street. With road and rail travel covered, there are only two remaining modes of transportation: by boat from the docks on the river, and by air through the utilization of one of two local vertical takeoff and landing pads, either atop the Civic Center or the Emergency Services Building. With transportation squared away, let's get the lay of the city's structures. Starting from the northwestern corner of the city, you find Watauga Civic Center, pinned between Circuit Road, Electron Road, and AMS Street. It was an arena that served as a venue for games of robot basketball and was poised to host a presidential debate. Next, the Watauga Towers, which lie just across Electron Road to the east, a pair of residential towers standing astride Industry Road. Just south of the Watauga Towers, we find the first of the three coffee shops in Watauga. To the east of the towers, across Robco Boulevard, lies a large utility structure. The exact nature of this building is unknown, with pipes running into the river as potentially a source of water for a treatment plant, or as a cooling system for the city's power plant. To the east of this utility structure, you can find Miller's Appliances, the first structure of the shopping plaza. To the east of Miller's Appliances, you can find a single structure housing Stewart's Department Store, Hubris Comics, and Slocum's Joe, coffee shop number 2, where entitled locals belittle the waitstaff. Just to the southwest of this structure is the Watoga Real Estate Building, with an elevator that runs straight to the roof. East of Watoga Real Estate lies the Super Duper Mart, with one of two Brotherhood of Steel reprogrammed Protectron vendors. That covers everything north of AMS Street, so let's get to the structures between AMS and Innovation Streets. The Watauga Transit Hub lies directly to the south of the Civic Center, with Tomorrow Lane just to the immediate west. Watauga Emergency Services, lying just to the east between two unnamed cross streets, was home to the city's automated police and EMS services. To the east of Emergency Services is the Watauga Municipal Building, effectively City Hall of Watauga. Across Robco Boulevard and at the center of the North Washington Street roundabout, you can find the ground floor lobby for Atomic Mining Services Watauga headquarters. Just to the southwest of the AMS lobby, we find coffee shop number 3. To the east of this coffee shop lies the Fresh Soil Restaurant, the first of two restaurants found in Watauga. Across Destiny Drive to the east lies Cranberry Heights, the second residential block. The last structure between AMS and Innovation Streets is the Drumlin Diner, found just east of Cranberry Heights. At the southwestern end of the city, between Tomorrow Lane and Innovation Streets, lies Watauga Estates, the last of the three residential sections of the city. This covers most of the city's grid, but the aforementioned Watauga High School lies as previously stated at the end of Tomorrow Lane and just south of Innovation Street, with the Watauga train station sitting just to its southwest. Beyond the main structures, there are 5 sitting areas, a bandstand, and a playground. There's an extensive underground area of Watoga that is currently inaccessible, the garage. The garage has 3 different entrances, one at the western leg of Tomorrow Lane, another just north of the Civic Center on Electron Road, and lastly at the corner of Robco Boulevard and Innovation Street. The garage also has 3 pedestrian entrances, one near the corner of Tomorrow Lane, one on North Washington Street, and another on Destiny Drive. The garage system also appears to have a ventilation area at the eastern end of town. When the underground opens, we'll get a bigger picture of the services and products available to Watogans. Along with what the humans of Watoga had available to them, the city is dotted with bot pods that replenish the depleted robotic workforce as needed. We can also find 4 nests belonging to Scorch Beasts, located on the Cranberry Heights Tower, the Watauga Municipal Center, the Watauga Towers, and the Watauga Civic Center. That fairly well covers the layout of the city, but there is much more to the Cranberry Bog than Watauga. The region is home to a number of natural areas, including the Cranberry Glade, a miniaturized in-game version of the real-world cranberry glades of the Cranberry Wilderness of the Monongahela National Forest. There are 4 large groves of massively mutated carnivorous sundew plants: the Creekside, Veiled, Sparse, and overgrown sundew groves. Lastly, there is the Ranger District Office of the fictitious Kanawha National Park here. There are 3 agricultural areas: Sunrise Farm, sunken by seismic activity, Superior Sunset Farm, hollowed out for a nest by Scorch Beasts, and Max Farm, host to a Mirelurk Queen in its Cranberry Glade, and a home destroyed by the Scorch Beast Queen herself. There's Fort Defiance, formerly the Allegheny Asylum, home to a mental hospital until March of 2061, then a community of survivors from Watoga over the winter of 2077 to 2078, and finally the Brotherhood of Steel from 2093 to 2095. There is Lost Home, a small camp where refugees held up after the war. There is the abandoned Bog Town, a small town, condemned as it sank into the bog before the war, turned home to a group of raiders after the falling of Watoga and the bombs. There are 4 commercial sites in the Cranberry Bog: Appalachian Antiques, where the proprietor defrauded the snobs of Watoga, the Bootlegger Shack, where the owner was killed by greedy customers, the General Steakhouse, where the proprietors attempted to shelter refugees after the war, and the Robco Research Center, where much of the technology that made Watoga functional was born. There are 4 ore and rock harvesting sites: the drowned Kerwood Mine, the flooded Old Mold Quarry, the Mirelurk Queen infested Quarry X3, and the AMS mine that became the Glassed Cavern. There are 3 transportation related sites: the NAR repair yard, where sheep squatches have been known to roam, the flooded train yard, where a sudden seismic shift caused a massive train wreck just before the war, and Monorail Pylon V13, where a time travel experiment was underway when the world ended. There are at least 4 Atomic Mining Services nuclear bomb insertion sites: drop sites C2, G3, V9, and the destroyed D4 that once sat above the Glassed Cavern. There are 7 named sites connected to the Brotherhood's attempt to control the flood of the Scorch Beasts: Fire Bases Hancock, LT, and Major, Survey Camp Alpha, Forward Stations Alpha and Delta, The Thorn, and Big Bend Tunnel East. Lastly, there are 9 fissure sites, 6 without map markers, 3 that do have them, including the Fissure Prime site, the gash in the earth above the Glassed Cavern where the Scorched Beasts were birthed by the Enclave. The Cranberry Bog is a dense zone, and we'll be examining it over the next few weeks. Hopefully this will serve as a reference to clarify both the layout of Watoga and the bog around it. Next time, we're going to dive into Watauga Civic Center and the potential insights it has to offer into the American government of the Fallout universe. This has been the Resolute Cartographer. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you have any comments or questions, leave them for me and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.